Have you ever noticed how the more self-aware you become, the harder it gets to feel connected to others? Like every time you evolve mentally, emotionally, or philosophically, you somehow grow farther from the people around you. You're not imagining it. There's a hidden cost to awareness, and it's one that most people never talk about. Because awareness isn't just about being woke or smart. It's about seeing reality with fewer filters. And sometimes the truth isn't comforting, it's isolating. Throughout history, thinkers, sages, and visionaries have spoken about the weight of understanding, not because knowledge is dangerous, but because clarity makes you different. Different in how you speak, different in what you value, and most painfully, different in what you can't ignore anymore. The more you understand how society works, the less you're able to play its game blindly. Let's break it down. In everyday life, people operate within invisible rules, social scripts, beliefs, and shared illusions. Most follow these rules without question because it's easier, safer, and more accepted. But awareness breaks those illusions. When you truly see, you can't unsee. Suddenly, small talk feels meaningless, shallow goals feel empty, and popular opinions feel manufactured. You start asking questions that make others uncomfortable. Why do we chase things that don't fulfill us? Why do we measure success by numbers and not peace? Why are people afraid of being alone with their thoughts? And this is where the tension begins. Because when you start asking real questions, most people won't celebrate your curiosity. They'll distance themselves. Why? Because your awareness becomes a mirror, not just reflecting truth, but also exposing what others haven't dared to examine. It's not that people dislike you, they dislike what your presence awakens in themselves. Think about it. You don't scare them with your intelligence. You scare them with what it reveals. Your silence becomes loud. Your honesty feels like confrontation. Your depth like a threat to their comfort zone. This is why so many thinkers, from Buddha to Kierkegaard to Simone de Beauvoir, spent their lives on the edges of society. Not because they hated people, but because they saw too clearly to pretend. Modern psychology supports this too. Studies show that people are more likely to trust confidence than truth. They value familiarity over depth. This is why surface-level conversations go viral, while meaningful insights often get ignored. Because truth doesn't trend, comfort does. But here's the paradox. Even though awareness can feel lonely, it's also what liberates you. You stop needing validation from those who don't understand your path. You stop chasing goals that don't align with your soul. You become okay with solitude because solitude becomes sacred. In silence, you hear more. In solitude, you grow more. Yes, the path is quieter, but it's also richer, deeper, and more authentic. So, if you've ever felt like the odd one out, if your thoughts feel too much for the room, if your presence feels heavy in shallow spaces, understand this. You're not broken. You're just aware. And awareness will always feel like a burden in a world addicted to distraction. But that burden? It's also your gift. A compass pointing you towards something real, something eternal. In a world where everyone's chasing noise, be the one who listens. In a world drowning in opinions, be the one who thinks. And in a world that fears depth, be the one who dives in anyway. Because in the end,